So in my school, that's all you learn. You see, you don't have to waste your time with the conjugations, vocabulary, all that junk. Just forget it anyway, and what's the difference? Economics, supply and demand. That's it. Business is you buy something and you sell it for more. Theology, I'm going to have a theology department, since I'm a priest, it's all right. And what you have to learn in theology is the answer to the question, where is God? And the answer is, God is everywhere. Why? Because he likes you. That's kind of a combination of the Disney and Roman Catholic philosophy. It's just perfect for the later 70s or early 80s, Just perfect. Well, after the courses are all over, then it's time for a little Easter vacation. No time to go to Fort Lauderdale. Only lasts like 20 seconds. But what I do for you, I like to turn on a sun lamp. I give you a little glass of orange juice. That's in the snack department, orange juice. And then after vacation, after you swallow it real quick, then it's a time for the final exams. I say to you, ¿Cómo está usted? You say, muy bien. Where is God? The God is everywhere. Economics, supply and demand. Then I put on your cap and a gown. I get out to my Polaroid camera. Make a little snap and flash a picture for you. I give you the picture. You give me $20. I give you a diploma. And you're a college graduate, ready to go. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure, right next door to the 5-minute university, I might have opened up a little law school. You got another minute?
As you could determine from one or two of the lines in there, that piece is about 30 years old. But if you think about how most major universities continue to operate and student behavior for most traditional college-age students, surprisingly not too terribly much has changed. And we are in an era of such rapidly changing and evolving things, knowledge, research, what's happening in the world, economy, communication, and so on, that there are probably 2 or 3 things that are very, very significant that most people just kind of don't think of. The first is your kids are probably going to live to 110. And that means they need to be in a position to reinvent themselves many times. Because, I'm an old guy. When I graduated college, I figured I was going to get a job someplace, probably stay here 20, 30 years, retire. That's not the case anymore. The economy is such that industries come and go. The most rapidly growing fields 5 years from now probably don't even exist. Even my generation, I look at it and I tell my wife, we're going to live till we're probably 90 or 100. No, you can tell me 70, 70. Well, that's because we look forward with the same trend of change as occurred in the past, kind of a linear one. But the fact is, in the next 10 years, the kinds of medical advances are going to be equivalent to probably the last 30 years. So we are in a situation, I think, as a state university, to try and figure out how we can reinvent ourselves in a way that satisfies as many needs among the people we try and serve as possible. And that is exceptionally difficult when you are very large, dealing with increasing demands. I mean, for the first time, and I can't think of how long, we've got kids now thinking about coming here who otherwise would normally have been applying to Bryn Mawr or some of the pretty expensive, exclusive second-tier universities because of the change in the economics in the current recession. So how does this get to where we are? One of the things that we are trying to do is to, through my office, create a mechanism for people in the state, alumni, the extraordinarily talented, and in some of our host cities, kids who don't have the advantage, how we can get them in without a hassle to be able to take advantage of some of what we have to offer. So we have established an academic unit. It's a non-degree granting unit called Rutgers Continuing Studies, where we can much more easily than had been the case be able to respond to an individual need to allow a student to take a course that meets or fulfills that student's best interests, best educational interests. We have begun to do this on a small scale, and through Liz's efforts, are thinking about ways that we can expand and encourage expansion of this, so that some of the profoundly gifted kids that you have might be able to take advantage of some of what we have to offer. I do know a couple of things. We probably can't do everything for everybody, nor should we try. But I do know that there are a lot of things that we can do that we're not doing. And so one of the things I think that is very important to me is really to hear from you about some of the challenges that you currently are facing, some of the ways in which you think Rutgers might be able to better respond to the needs of your children, and basically to see if we can establish a dialogue and a process through which, over the course of the next year or two, we can all find ourselves in a better place, so that the kinds of educational services that you need to find for your kids is a hell of a lot easier than what you've been going through and you've been experiencing in the past. So with that, I would throw it out to any questions, comments, or whatever. I'm happy to respond. I'm really very interested in what you have to say.
I don't mean to be disrespectful.